Okay, I've been meaning to record this video for a while. Such a provocative topic that gets a lot of controversy. A lot of people messaging me and commenting on my posts. But I would be remiss if I don't mention that my book is out. At least the Kindle version is out. The physical will be available March the 17th. So if you go to Amazon.com or if you still shop at Barnes & Nobles, you can find it there. Please buy my Kindle, only 10 bucks. Give me a good review. If you're not going to give me a good review, then don't worry about it. Most businesses fail in the first 5 minutes. Put it on Amazon and you'll find it there. We're going to talk about MLMs and why their business model is unsustainable. If you see the chart, the picture here, it kind of looks like a pyramid, but don't let the appearances deceive you. It's not a pyramid, okay? Or at least that's what they say. It's not a pyramid. Why is the pyramid bad? Anyways, well, it's because it's illegal. That's why. Among other things, because it's very hard to tell really who's making money and how they're making it, and it's all part of the problem. It's all part of the deal, okay? So I could talk about many different things. I made a few things I was going to talk about, innovation and marketing and business. But really, one thing that I wanted to I think we can talk about one thing, because I want to keep this video under 10 minutes so it can fit on LinkedIn. Thank you, LinkedIn. But basically we're going to talk about CPA. CPA is a very important metric. That is actually one of the first metrics that I look at when I'm inside of a company. So I've been hired by companies making less than $1 million a year to companies making over $30 million a year. And I always ask this question, and I always get bad answers to them. I always get answers like, what do you mean? Or the real good one is, well, it depends, right? So CPA is cost per customer acquisition. Or cost per acquisition. So I asked them, how much does it cost you to acquire a new customer? And they would tell me, well, it depends. That's usually the answer that I get, or they're not really quite sure what I mean. And as my mentor and business author and business partner and co-author of the book would say, depends as an adult diaper, right? I always love using that because exactly it. They don't know what they don't know, or they should know this. And actually, when you tell it to them, they realize, wow, we should know that, and how come we don't? So this is going to hold the key of why this is just unsustainable for 99% of the people who are participating in an MLM. So the typical MLM pitch, and I was given this pitch the first time while I was like 17 or 18. One of my good friends at the time brought me to this pitch, and he was very excited because we were going to make so much money and we were going to be able to retire at 25. Well, we're a little bit older than 25 now, and I always ask him when I see him, hey, have you retired yet? That's probably why he actively avoids me. But anyways, he was excited. He had bought into the dream, and I remember I didn't really quite buy into it, but I didn't really know why. But the typical pitch is something like this. Look, we have this company with this awesome product, and we want to change the world, right? Because they're gonna sell it better. It's gonna be incredible. It's gonna make you healthier. It's got all the things, right? But what they're really selling is they sell you on the dream of being a millionaire, of retiring early, of being in a yacht with models in the Mediterranean, right? And so the pitch goes something like this. Look, we're not gonna spend money on marketing. And we're going to save the money on marketing, and we're going to give it to you. And you are going to go out and recruit 5 people, right? That's what the 5 do. You're going to go out and tell, they don't say recruit. They say you're going to go out and convince or you're going to present this to 5 people. And those 5 people, in turn, will present it to 5 other people. And they'll buy into it. And those 5 will present it to those 5, and so on and so forth. So at the first level, you have 5 people. At the second level, you have 25. At the next level, you have 125. Next level, 625. It's all good, right? Now, this exponential by the power of 5 can only be performed about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times. That's 6 billion right here, 6.1 billion. When the next time around, well, now it's 30 billion. Well, we don't have 30 billion people, right? Plus, there's no product on earth that applies to all people. Okay, but what they're missing here, is that cost for customer acquisition is what they need to find out. And as a matter of fact, the cost is so high in acquiring a customer that makes this business unsustainable. If you actually had to map out how much it costs you, how much money, how much time, and how much resources does it cost you to acquire a new customer. And there are a couple of reasons. One reason is that in any given category, and this is a category, let's say of health products, let's say. In any given category, there is almost no MLM that I can think of, and I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not, that is at the top of their category. So the MLM product is not the best product for any category. It's also not the cheapest. You can't get it for cheaper, right? And here's the dead giveaway, right? The reason that it's so hard to figure out who makes how much money in this model is because they make it so, right? They say, okay, well, you can be a black diamond, and you could be, a sponsor, you can be a promoter, all these names, and you have to have this many points, and this many points is translated to this many tokens, and this many it's almost like when you go to Dave & Buster's, right? And you just spend $500 with your girl there, and you have all these tickets, and they go, well, actually, we can give you the Chinese finger trap. I can give you a couple of those. How is that? And you think, wait a minute, I just spent $500. Well, that's why places like that do it. They translate cash into something else, right? Well, MLMs take that, 3 or 4 levels. They translate cash into points, and the points into something else and something else. So you have to have 3 levels of extraction out to try to figure out, okay, how much money am I losing here, right? Something like 99% of the people in an MLM not only not make money, but actually lose money, right? And why is that? Again, because customer acquisition is very high. It's actually very difficult to convince anybody, let alone only 5 friends, and have them convince in turn other 5 friends and other 5 friends to change products from, let's say, a leading brand to a lesser brand. But I'm going to give you a shortcut, okay? This is something that really any business can do to figure out quickly and cost effectively what you need to do, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to set up a marketing campaign, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to ascertain this number, because this is what we want. This is what's going to tell us a lot. Again, when I go into a company, I need to know this number, because I want to know how much cash does it take, how much money, how much time, how much effort does it take to get something. Now, this is going to cost you, I'd say, between $10,000 and $15,000. But if you spend 10 and 50, and then maybe this is a lot of money especially for people who are in MLMs, because usually people who are in MLMs, they are very far from being in business, right? They believe they're in business, but they're really not. And so, but trust me, if you spend $10,000 or $15,000, you can spend this in the span between 3 to 6 months, and then you know that it doesn't work, and you prove it to yourself, and you go, wow, I'm glad I didn't spend more of my money and my time, especially your time, because you can't get that back into this business that's not going to generate anything. So what you're going to do is you're going to set up a campaign, and what you want is you want to set up a campaign, you having a population sample that's big enough. So I'm saying something like 10,000 people. This is statistically significant. This is good. Okay? Now this has to be a cold audience. The reason that network marketing it's difficult is because you may be able to convince your friends, right? Your family, like your mom, hey mom, help me out. And she might be able to do that, but she's hardly a cold audience, right? Your mom is your mom, right? Anything you do is like, wow, it's great, right? But what you want is you want to target cold audience, somebody that doesn't know anything about the product, because now you can ascertain CPA. And what you're going to do is you're going to try to target between 1,000 to 3,000 people. This is why it's going to cost you, again, between I would say between $10,000 and $15,000. Now, these are using pretty cheap channels, pretty affordable channels, $15,000, right? And what you're going to do is you're going to target those people, and you're going to see how many of those people convert into customers. How many of them, right? And then what the number that you get here, you divide the total amount that you spent, right? So if you have 10 people that finally ended up converting, then you have a customer acquisition of $1,000. Now, I estimate that the cost per customer acquisition for an MLM, one of those MLMs, is between $1,000 to $5,000 per customer, right? You're gonna have to sell a lot of milkshakes to be able to get your money back. A lot, right? And now we have another number that's an even deadlier number that is going to translate into how many customers stick around and for how long. We call that churn rate. When do they turn around? They say, you know what, I'm not going to buy this stuff anymore, right? And again, that number is too high. Now don't have the time or really the curiosity to guys even at this point into figuring out how much it costs, for example, for a person to enroll into each one of these MLMs. There's just no time, right? But you can bet that if you do this, you'll realize very quickly that it's very, very difficult to make money in this. Now, why do some people make money? Well, first of all, some people win the lottery, okay? And that doesn't mean that it's a good strategy for retirement, right? Nobody goes there, wow, man, if I just win the lottery, I know I'm gonna win it. You know, hang in there, mom, hang in there, dad, you know, this is gonna be good. Well, nobody does that, right? So there's many people that do a lot of things. Also, the most successful people doing MLMs, which I despise. I think they are, this is essentially a sociopathic business model. What they have is they have a big list of people, and then they move them from MLM to MLM. And so why does that work? Because they already acquired the customer. They already at least have some kind of relationship. Look, this is the guy, this is the girl that sells me this stuff, right? And especially, they sell me on not only the stuff, which the stuff is no problem. If you like to buy any of these products, go have at it. No worries in the world. But don't think that you're gonna buy, so now you're gonna recruit other people to buy it, and then for them to be in turn recruit other people to buy it, and so on and so forth. This is just not gonna work, okay? Again, because the customer acquisition cost is too high, right? And I challenge anybody. I mean, I've never. First of all, I've never been shown by any MLMer why their product is superior, right? Also, the product is never cheaper. Like, you can always find a leading product in any of the categories that are sold by MLMers in Costco, let's say, at way cheaper prices. So why would I want to buy that? Not even getting it as a wholesale, right? Plus, you have to spend all this money to get it at wholesale. I have to be honored to buy it wholesale, right? And then also, no MLM has ever, I mean, companies don't even know this. Of course, an MLMer won't. What is their customer acquisition cost? How much does it cost you to acquire a new customer that doesn't know anything about you and doesn't care, right? So here's the point. The reason that MLMs are disguise this metric, they want to disguise it, right, by having all the points and all the I call it the Dave and Buster's effect, right? Of exchanging tickets for tokens and tokens for another thing, and then you realize, wow, you spent a whole lot of money. But if you spend tickets, that doesn't feel as bad as spending cash, which is one of the psychological reasons why they do it. So what happens here is if the reason that they hide this is because it's unsustainable. The reason that they have people go out and try to recruit people is because if they actually took time to figure out, okay, well, how much time am I spending? And how much money am I spending? And how many of my resources am I spending? Wow, only to get one person that maybe will sell somebody else. And again, almost 95% of all people involved in MLM quit after a couple of years, right? And most of them make no money or lose over $1,000 a year, right? Which is not an incredible amount of money, but here's the point. This is an incredibly rigged business model, right? A very, 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 very few percentage of the people make all the profits. And I always speak when clients ask me, "Hey, Gabe, what do you think about MLMs?" I say, "Don't get in one, but if you're going to start one, call me first, because I want to be the first guy at the top of that interesting shake.